Okay, so just got back from the movies, and I went to go watch Ready or Not 2, as I mentioned earlier, and well, here are my quick thoughts. So first off, like, what's the movie about? So it takes place like right after the first one ends, and you see Grace being taken to the hospital, literally being questioned by a detective. Like, look, bro, you have a bunch of dead people, and there's someone else's blood on you, so you're in big trouble, kind of deal, right? It's not looking good for her. So as soon as she's able, they're gonna take her out, take her to the station so she can tell her story again, right? And well, apparently, since she won the game, right, it triggers this whole new section that they gotta go through, and she eventually is gonna get kidnapped again and sent off to this giant mansion run by the Danforths, and you get to see the head of the family, right, Mr. Danforth himself, actually call and just say like, hey, accept the peace agreement, essentially, right? And it gets done. Like, you see the breaking news is right there, so it's like, wow, got a lot of power, a lot of influence, right? So when he gets word of this, right, it's like, okay, so, well, business got taken care of. Calls the kids, and the kids kill him. It's just like, go on, right? And I was wondering, like why? Like, what's the point at this point? And then you'll find out like later why, because it makes sense when everything is explained in this case. But nonetheless, Grace, who was visited by her sister in the hospital, is now caught up in the game along with her sister, and playing hide and seek again. It's like the lawyer played by Elijah Wood, Mr. LaBelle's lawyer, right? Again, Elijah Wood just perfect, man. He's so good. He's so good at his role here. But basically says, hey, looks like Double or Nothing, right? Except the winner gets to be the head of the High Council. And like I said, Mr. Danforth, his family is the one that's the head of the High Council right now, so you saw the kind of influence he has. These are the people that run basically the world that we're talking about here. That kind of level, which is kind of crazy. Now, the game begins, of course, and you have all these interesting characters from these interesting families, right, spread across the globe. And it's a lot of these side characters that don't get involved in the game that are very funny. Okay? And had me in stitches. They had me in stitches a lot of the times, right? I heard words that I hadn't heard in a while, or I never heard in a movie, like, from, not really heard in a movie, in like an American movie very often, right? In my life, I've heard these words. I heard culero and puta. And I've heard words like fuck and shit and bitch and all sorts of shit, right? But it's not very often I hear those words. So I was like, my goodness, my dear gracious, that little boy said some bad words. So stupid. But I was very surprised. Like, granted, they were speaking Spanish, so I should have expected to hear words like that, right? But nonetheless, funny little bits that had me chuckling a little bit. Had us, the people in the theater, also chuckling a bit. They got it too, because I mean, well, we live in South Texas, and I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a Latino male. But so that had us laughing. One part that had me cracking up, and at first, because I was watching, and one of the gentlemen there has a sniper rifle, right? He's shooting at him, and he's missing, because it's movies, right? They never get him. It's like the stormtroopers in Star Wars, right? They can't shoot worth the shit. But then it's like, it gets explained, which is crazy. Like, you don't see that very often in these kinds of movies, I guess. You just go with the flow, like, oh, they can't shoot worth the shit, right? They're the heroes, they have to survive, it's plot armor, right? And sure, right? For the most part, yeah. But they go in, like, when they go into the watch room, which is, again, the side characters who are not playing the game are in. Or at least not playing yet. They go in, there's like, bro, your dad sucks. Then the little kid is basically goes like, he never practices, man. And he's like, shit, makes sense. I mean, shooting's not easy, man. I wouldn't be able to hit shit, especially a moving target, and I never shoot the damn gun. And apparently that was the case. So yeah, I can see that. Hilarious rules like if you kill hold on just a second. Just take a step. Step back. Did that work? Nope. Alright, so the light's back. My bad, I guess I'm here too long, just being not moving around. But nonetheless, they're hilarious. The side characters made me laugh a lot through this movie. But again, like the family in the first movie made me laugh a lot too. And same thing here. They're all hilarious. They all just make me laugh so much, right? And so I'm like a sucker for like family reuniting kind of deals. I guess it's because in my case I have a really strong relationship with my brothers and my parents and all that, right? So family ties are pretty strong in my case. So I tend to, when brothers or sisters, right, unite together, come back into the fold kind of deal. As long as it's in good terms, of course, right? But like, when that happens, it hits the old corazon a little bit, right? There's some good shit. I like it. So I like the relationship with the sisters starting off very strained, right? And then getting better and better and better and better as the movie goes on. Of course, they have to work together to survive, right? Because that's kind of rough. But there's times where they could have escaped and like bailed on the other, and no, they came back. And I thought that was pretty cool. Now, some of the other characters, like some of the bigger ones, right? Like the Danforth's children, especially Titus, he's actually like pretty scary in this movie. And he was like pretty fucked up, man. Like when he's beating the shit out of Faith, right? The sister, Grace's sister, right? Beating the shit out of Faith. I was like, oh man, this guy's, he's pushing it a little hard, man. He's just beating the living shit out of her, and that hurt. Like I was like, damn, man, this guy's kind of messed up. And he was, right? He went from being like really meek, I guess would be a good word to say, right? He was kind of meek at the beginning to just totally losing his shit, going ape shit, right? And I was like, damn. But he was pretty intense and intimidating, so that was a pretty cool performance. Everyone did well. Sarah Michelle Gellar was a lot of fun too, right? But I think the part that had me in stitches was towards the end, right? Because Grace finds a loophole, right? Well, she's told of a loophole by another competitor, and she takes advantage of said loophole to get out of the game. But this loophole leads to another scenario that happens. I don't want to spoil, right? Basically, it becomes a free-for-all, and you see how like fucked up like a lot of these people are, because it's like, I guess in this sense, right, we're trying to get like for power, right? They'll do anything to get power, and you see it right in that last little bit to the scene of the movie, right? That scene in the end of the movie, and it's like, damn, man, these people are fucked up. For real. But like my friends and I, we have a scale, like how we determine, not on the quality of the movie, right? Movie's good. I liked it, as you probably could tell at this point. But we talk about gore, we refer to it as chorizo. Right. I know it's dumb, but that's how we do it. Right? We would say like, oh, did you get the chorizo? And they'll be like, hell yeah, he did. So like when we were talking about Terrifier, we'd just say it like that. Like for instance, Chris Jericho was in 2 and 3, right? Like, did Chris Jericho get the chorizo? Like, yeah, he got the chorizo all right. But so thinking about that, right? Does this movie have the chorizo? Sure, there's some chorizo in there. It's not as intense as like say Terrifier, right? Or Terrifier 2 or 3 or any of those movies. But it's got some stuff in there. And sitting outside, the car, trucks are passing by. Yeah, it's got some chorizo. It's pretty gnarly. The funniest thing is that the gnarliest things happen to Grace. Well, other than the brother who got like in the washing machine, that was pretty nasty. But a lot of the gnarlier things happen to Grace. She's got to pull, her sister had to pull glass out of her arm. She pulls like this big old spike that Sarah Michelle Gellar throws into her, right? Like stabs into her. So she gets some gnarly stuff. There's some chorizo. Of course, people blowing up like in the first one. Same thing. People blowing up, and it's hilarious, of course. It's pretty fun. But yeah, man, this movie rocks. I think I like the first one more, but it's not by much. It's like the first movie, if I were to say, it would be like a 4.5, and then this one will be like a 4. So it's like, it's still fantastic, still a good time, a good ride. And man, yeah, go check it out. See what you think. I'm sure you'll like it. Now I'm just gonna call it a day, chill out here because it's really nice out here. So y'all have a good one. Take care. Adios.